kick it up a step. Oh, kick it up a step. I'm gonna do the mashed potato. Kick it up a step.
So what made you decide to start Strokeland?
Well, it was a reaction to the fact that on every Tower of Power album that there was songs of mine I liked a lot that didn't make the cut, and other songs that I didn't like as much that did make the cut. I mean, Tower of Power is a 10-piece band, and there's a lot of different thoughts on, what people's favorite songs are and what songs are appropriate and like that. But after several albums with many songs that I thought were great not being on there, I said, I ought to just record them. And so Strokeland just started off as just a way for me to record songs of mine I like a lot that weren't recorded and probably weren't going to get recorded by Tower of Power. With Tower of Power, whenever there's a new album, it's very hard to get old songs that didn't make the cut from albums previous on a new project. People want to do new stuff. And so Strokeland is just it's a fabulous way for me to get my songs recorded.
So when did Strokeland start?
Strokeland started with me and Jeff Tamalier, our ex-guitar player, who is still a major player in Strokeland. He's no longer in Tower of Power. Bruce Conti is back. Everybody's very excited about that. But Jeff and I still do lots of stuff. He's a big talent, and we work very well together. But back in I was in the Bay Area doing a gig with him at the end of 1994. That was before he even joined Tower of Power. And I asked him to be my partner in getting some stuff together. And he was glad to do it. And so we wrote some, and I had some songs written already. And so that was our first one, was Kick It Up a Step. And that came out in 1998. In those days, it was really slow sledding, to get it financed, pay everyone, and get it actually done. I'm a little more organized now than I was then to get things finished and out. But so we started with that, and then we started taking people's albums and selling them, like Jack Mack and the Heart Attack. We sold some of theirs, and Bruce Conti had one, and Roger Smith, and Hip Service, Lon Bronson, which that's a record I really like. Lon Bronson he's a great guy and a wonderful musician. As a matter of fact, coming up, me and him are doing this album called Doc Goes Vegas, which is a follow-up to Doc Goes Hollywood, which is the one I'm working on right now.
What's your favorite Strokeland, other than the ones you're working on right now, what's your favorite Strokeland project?
Oh, definitely Kick It Up a Step. Because for one thing, that got Rocco and David Garibaldi back together. And after that, David came back and joined Tower of Power, and it showed him that we could still get along great. And he's been back in the band for 8 years now. He's back in the band longer than he was in the band originally. And having David back in Tower of Power really turned things around in a great way for us.
I might go Hollywood if you're thinking that maybe I could. I might even go Las Vegas, y'all, if you think it might do me some good.
So what Strokeland projects are in the works right now?
Well, there's two of them I'm working on really heavy. And one is Doc Goes Hollywood, and it's a CD I'm doing with this guy, William Ross, who's a movie guy. He wrote the music for Ladder 49 and that movie with John Travolta and Joaquin Phoenix, and a bunch of others. And he arranges for David Foster and Alan Silvestri. In fact, the strings you hear on Forrest Gump and Contact, those movies that Alan Silvestri did, Bill arranged the strings. And, he's a brilliant, brilliant musician, and I'm so lucky to be able to have hooked up with him. So we wrote a couple, and I had some songs from the past. They're all like Great American Songbook kind of songs. Not stuff that Tower of Power would do necessarily, or they might, but the kind of song where I'd have to pull every coupon out of the book to even have them, attempt it, and then it might not make the cut anyway because it's not really that kind of music. It's more like the standards. And I really like the material on that CD. And we've got the basics done and the rough vocals. The vocals are being done by John Lee Sanders, who, for any Strokeland fans, he's the one who sang Kick It Up a Step and Bittersweet with a Ray of Hope off that Kick It Up a Step CD. He's a wonderful singer and a major talent. And so he's putting on the lead vocals, and he even put on a bunch of background vocals. They're scratch vocals, but they're good enough they might last. I mean, or some of them anyway. And after that, we're going to orchestrate it. Bill's going to put some strings on. We're going to put some horns and hopefully get it out in time for Christmas. The rhythm section is David Garibaldi on drums and Leland Sklar on bass. He's that guy who was in the Phil Collins videos with the long gray beard bass player. Probably the best all-around bass player I ever worked with. He's just so seamless. He can do every style, and he's just a brilliant, brilliant bass player. And this is the first time that him and David worked together. So that alone is a big deal. The keyboard player is Chris Caswell, who he's a fabulous keyboard player. He can play all the keyboards, and he knows that style, jazz, R&B, and standards. He's fabulous. The guitar player is Ray Oviedo from the Bay Area. Him and David do a lot of work. He's a grizzled old pro veteran and, a wonderful guitar player. So that's who's on it so far, and then John Lee Sanders with the vocals.
So what's the other Strokeland project in the works now?
The other Strokeland project is one that Jeff Tamalier and I are doing called Bumped Up to First Class. And it's very similar to the Kick It Up a Step CD. It's, Huey Lewis can be on there. Hopefully we'll get Lydia Pence and a couple surprises. And we've got all the material written. As a matter of fact, we had to narrow it down. There was an embarrassment of riches. We had too many good songs, so we have to decide which ones aren't going to be on this one and put them on another record some other time. And Jeff is doing the line producing on that. So he's actually going to be doing the rhythm sections while we're in Europe at his home studio up in Antioch. And I'm excited about that. It's like that first one, very much classic Tower Power R&B.